Please welcome Jackie Haas.
Hi there, guys. How you doing?
We are doing fantastic.
Oh, like they're gonna answer me back so much. I guess I should ask you how you're doing.
Well,
sorry.
I'm doing great, but how are you doing today?
You know what? It's a good day. It's honestly a very good day. My days are usually far and few between, kind of controlled. It's controlled chaos is what it is, and today's chaos was pretty controlled, so that's good. Having 4 young little kids and still trying to work a little bit here and there in the fitness industry, and then, of course, doing awesome appearances like this Fan Fest and everything, just kind of keeping a lot of things on my plate. So today's been a good day as far as kind of having everything roll all together. So,
well, let's get right into that. You brought it up. On June 27th, there's going to be the Fan Fest. It's the New England Fan Fest in Rhode Island. Now, you're part of the Super Ticket. You're going to get to meet a ton of fans. How long has it been since you've been in the Northeast?
You know what? I want to say that is actually one of the areas where, of course, wrestling conventions and programs and just wrestling in general is still pretty widespread, but it's been, gosh, this is horrible to say. I want to say I was there 2 years ago, if not a little bit prior to that, but this is kind of the biggest event that I would say within the last, 2 to 3 years, maybe. So.
All right. Well, we're glad to have you back. Now, not only are you part of the Super Ticket where you can, sign autographs and take pictures with fans, but you're also part of the Bikini Super Ticket. And I was just told today that doesn't mean that I'm supposed to wear a bikini. I was very confused about that.
Oh.
So,
absolutely not. Anyone who is involved in the Super Ticket has to wear a bikini. So I just want to throw that out there. So you were, again, misinformed.
Okay.
You have to wear a bikini. So, you know what? And you guys get prizes, too. Those of you who come there with the most, let's just say, I guess, kind of creative bikini style. Who knows? Maybe all of us divas, ex-divas, ex-knockouts, all of us girl models and everybody over there wrestling, we'll throw something together in a pot for the most creative bikini. So maybe we can make that an aspect, too.
That sounds awesome. What's your favorite part of coming to conventions like this? I know you've been to a lot of them, but is it seeing old friends? Is it meeting the fans? What is it?
I mean, I hit honestly the first two that would always forever be on my list. Number one, I mean, I love being a part of the wrestling community. And yes, it's been quite some time since I've really been active, done a few indie shows here and there. But, first and foremost, I always have to say it's the interaction with the fans and you great fans out there that have given myself and every other wrestler, whether it's been a tremendously long, legendary career or, something a little bit shorter, but still made it very purposeful and a huge meaning in my life. And without the fans and still having the interaction, even today, especially at conventions like the Fan Fest here, that's kind of one of the number one things that attracts me to coming to these. And then second of all, of course, just seeing friends, from across the United States and some from across the world that you really would not have a chance to catch up with and just reminisce and have good memories to add on top of the old memories. So those two are, close hand in hand, but I always want to thank the fans and say you're the reason why this all exists in the first place. So to give back to them and just share stories and this and that and sign anything they have and all that, that's usually the number one.
Okay.
And then honestly, coming in a close top third would be to just be able to sleep in my own bed without, having 9,000 feet and the whole 9 yards, kicking at me. Have a good night's sleep in my own bed in a hotel room. It's almost like a little mini break vacation for me, too. So I love my children to death and Charlie and everything, of course, but sometimes you just need a second to breathe. So these weekends, every once in a while, even though they're jam-packed and they're full and it's a lot of work, it's just sometimes a good time to reset myself, too.
Okay. Well, we're going to get right into this. I know, obviously, that we can't go without talking about Tough Enough, and that's strictly because there's the new Tough Enough that's getting ready to come out in June. Now, right off the bat, would you have any advice for people that are trying to get on this show?
I know this is the old, like, generic cliche kind of thing is, like, never give up and believe in yourself. But first and foremost, never give up. I mean, I tried out for the first one, was cast in the brought up to the top 25, but did not make the final 13. Went back to college, and not to say I didn't think about it anymore, but there was just always a little birdie on my shoulder that said, you know what? I've ran my entire life. I've run through many injuries. Wrestling, of course, does not compare to running cross country or track on all of the apparent levels. But just, once you know something's in your blood and once you want to go for it and do something, just never give up on it, really. If it seems like something that is so out there, something that is so, just ridiculous that you never thought in a million years you might do, or on the contrary, if it's something that you've strived for your entire life. I mean, nothing is ever impossible. And for those that really kind of are at a crossroads or an odds or of, I'm too nervous to do this, or God, I can't wait to do this, just believe in yourself. I mean, if you don't have that aspect of knowing that you're there for a reason and a purpose, you're never going to convey that to any of the WWE superstars, and especially to any of the ones that are judging this. Vince, of course, is probably always going to be the final say, and no matter what happens. And no one exudes their own sense and breed of personality and true confidence like Vince McMahon, even though he's somewhat out of the scenes right now. But, Triple H and Stephanie and everybody that's up there, it's the exact same following. So, don't go out there and be, should I be doing this? Believe in yourself, and believe in yourself being there, and know that you are tough enough. And if you're not, you'll be weeded out. So, mental strength comes before the physical. You need a hell of a lot of physical strength to get through this, but prepare yourself mentally for it.
Now, you mentioned trainers. Now, on your season, Al Snow was a trainer. Bill DeMott, Bob Holly. Did you feel like Ivory as well?
Chavo.
Yes.
Ivory and Chavo. Yeah.
Did you feel at any moment? I know that there's been some things being said recently about Bill DeMott and his training style. Did you ever feel like that you were being pushed for harder than you should have been, or do you think it was just part of the training?
I had Bob Holly too. That was my trainer, actually. So Bob, it was pretty much Al, Bob, Chavo, and Ivory. Bill came on kind of here or there because it started, I believe, the next season a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But he was there. But I can tell you, Bob Holly and learning how to take a drop kick right square in the nose from Bob Holly is one of those things that. Not to say it was a little controversial, even with my show, but even though Bill DeMott, and I'm just using Bob as my own personal experience, but they do what they have to do to get across, and like I said, to almost weed out those that that think they're there, and then to bring in those that maybe that they know that they have the heart and the determination and the strength, but it takes a hard trainer. It takes hard mentors to somehow get you to that level. Because once you get on the road, you have to prove yourself. And those of you who are trying out, you have to prove yourself literally day in and day out, whether or not you're the biggest superstar there making multi-million dollars or just fighting for the littlest of storylines. Every single day you enter the building, you enter the ring, you have to prove yourself. And that gets taxing, and it's very tedious, and it's very mentally frustrating and mentally hard. So the more that any tough enough trainers, and I'm using that specifically just from the show, but that goes along with, any NXT trainers, any wrestling mentors and trainers, that's their job. It's their job to push you to the limit and to push your buttons, Now, not to the point where they're intentionally hurting you, or also whether it's, hazing to a point to where it's just criminal. Now that should never be tolerated. But I believe in tough love. And I believe in I believe in giving those athletes just a little taste of what it's going to be like to be on the road day in and day out. And, some days it's going to be a breeze, and other days you're just going to say, why the hell did I even sign up for this in the first place? So for a trainer to, like Bob Holly, I mean, even Al goes, why in God's name would you be 2 feet from her, Bob, and tell her not to move and see if she can take it? At this point I'm, a little girl, and there's this big, huge Bob Holly, tough-ass guy. But you know what? It's one of those things you want to see if I'd get back up and complain. And, Bill DeMott has the same type of philosophy, I guess. But name-calling and degrading, I haven't seen too much about Bill lately, honestly, even though you're saying there's a lot out there. But like I said, anything where it's bullying, absolutely not. But to the point to where they're pushing you and touching your buttons and really seeing who's the strong will survive, that I am 1,000% in support of.
Awesome. Now, you've kind of been talking about this. You just said NXT, which makes me think that you are still, familiar with wrestling. Do you pay much attention to what's going on today?
Honestly, I haven't for a while. And then my kids started can we watch Raw? Can we blah, blah? And actually, I'm sitting outside of Russ, my 4-year-old, amateur wrestling training with Charlie right now. He's a coach at our local wrestling club, along with my brother-in-law, who's extremely successful amateur wrestler, and we have the amateur wrestling just all throughout our family and in our background. So that being said, now that my kids are of age, my boy, and even my 2.5-year-old Chuck, I mean, he wanted to go in there and, roll around with his brother. They're understanding this. They play wrestling. They play WWE at home. They've gone to shows with Charlie every once in a while. Charlie will do some shows where he keeps in touch, and he's friends with a lot of the promoters that he broke in with, and, wants to give back to what gave him so much. So that being said, and especially when the Divas show came back out, I was very curious, or came out or debuted. I was curious to see how everything would be portrayed. So I would say within the last year and a half or so, I certainly don't follow it a ton, but I know to an extent kind of what's going on.
So what? Speaking of Total Divas, what were your thoughts of that? Do you think that it gives an accurate portrayal of life as a diva?
Some episodes I think have hit it dead on, and others are like, oh, this is so kind of Hollywood and, just your soap opera drama. But then again, wrestling is soap opera drama. So it really is. I think when it focuses on a little bit more of the guts of what it really takes to be a wrestler versus, and your personal life, don't get me wrong, that is absolutely direly important for the fans to understand and for wrestlers to understand what a toll that takes on it. But also at the same token, I was surprisingly kind of impressed. That's kind of my overall. I was a little bit biased in the beginning as far as, what are they going to do with this, or how's this going to be, or whatnot. And like I said, episode to episode, some of them are like, okay, that was a little too much over the top of, a shopping addiction with Nikki Bella or with Brie Bella or whatever. But then, it all tied together where it really does show, people can make $1 gazillion, but you have to be financially responsible with it. So it comes out with a good message in the end. And it also just shows the real life of the girls and what they go through. And I think they have a very good broad cast of characters. And that's what everybody is. Even on Tough Enough, you're cast as a character, believe it or not. It's quote-unquote reality television. But I do. I think they do. I think the whole networks as a whole, of course, E, and then, WWE's involvement with it. I think they did a really good job of kind of the full picture to this point. So, like I said, some instances or episodes you kind of go, I don't know about that. And then other ones you're like, wow, they're kind of, it makes you proud to have gone through that in your life, especially for myself. So.
Well, with WWE now, there's the network, and we've talked a lot about this on shows before. You now have a whole new generation of people that are watching some of your stuff for the first time. How does that make you feel as a performer? I don't know that you go back and watch everything that you've done, but there's people your kids' age that are going to be watching this. Are you just happy to have that passed on to different people now?
Oh, absolutely, and some of which are banging at the door right now to get into the car. Maybe you should even ask Kayla, my oldest. She's right here.
One of the Haas dynasty, I'm going to say. Kayla, how are you doing today?
Good.
And what do you think about this whole wrestling business? Are you excited to watch it now?
Yeah.
So your mother and father are both have been in professional wrestling. They're still in wrestling. Do you think it's something that maybe you'd want to do someday?
Yeah.
And
whether or not we let her, that's another question, right?
Absolutely. Who are some of your favorites?
Who you like?
I like
Right.
Rey Mysterio, and I like Kurt Angle, and I like Shelton Benjamin, and I like
who's on TV right now that you really like? What about girls? Who do you like girl-wise?
the Bella Twins.
The Bella Twins. There you go.
I like the Bella Twins.
All right. Well,
She likes old school. See, we trained her well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I definitely appreciate your time, and maybe we'll be interviewing Kayla Haas in the future as a female professional wrestler.
Actually, we're putting her more towards the Olympic soccer route because she is she says it now, wrestler too, but she is a dominant force on the soccer field. She uses some wrestling moves. I can tell you a time or two. She's thrown an elbow or a high kick, or she has, went to go body slam somebody and we've had to pull her back a few times. She's 8, by the way. So.
Wow. Well, I'm terrified as I can be, but we definitely look forward to seeing you, and hopefully whenever the Fan Fest rolls around, we'll be able to talk to you live that day. So thank you so much for being on, and we wish you the best, and we will see you June 27th live in Providence, Rhode Island.
Absolutely. So those of you, just if I can say this, those of you who have not, there's a not know exactly what's going on. There's a VIP dinner the night before. And then I think you talked about also the Fan Fest with the questions, and the panels that I'll be a part of, and several other wrestlers, of course. And then we already, of course, discussed the bikini photo op that you need to be a part of as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a lot of fun stuff, a lot of great wrestlers, some of which who are a little bit newer to the scene, and then all of us old farts like myself and some of the other few that have been off the scene for a little while. But it should be a great weekend, last weekend in July, New England Convention Center, I believe, right? That's
yes.
Where it's at.
Yes.
Yeah, so perfect. So thank you so much. I hope to see everybody out there. So bring all your autograph books, all your memorabilia, anything you can think of, and I will be happy to, and hopefully anybody else there will be happy to give you some good memories to go away with. So thank you guys very much in advance. And tickets can be purchased at the door or at the official website, and that's, I think, newenglandfanfest.com.
I think that you had a career in advertising. If you didn't make it in wrestling or fitness, that was amazing.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I did go to school for journalism for a little while before I entered this crazy world, but...
Hello, everyone listening to another wrestling podcast. It's me. My name, Keith Apicary. Welcome to Hearing Me. So, you've all seen me before, and I guess you've heard me too if you watch the videos, but now you're selectively only hearing one of my abilities, my mouth. And this mouth is what's going to carry me to the top. And now, I don't want to talk all big and that's like this mean man who's going to take down everyone else, because I'm not. I'm not like everyone else and tough enough. I'm not going to do any damage really to anyone besides myself. But do you care? No. You just want to see carnage, and that's my middle name, Keith Apicary Carey. And I'm going to do the best selling you've ever seen. I'm going to sell more than the show-off sells when he's selling his soul's moves. I'm going to be the rag doll that's getting beat up, and you're going to be loving it, because that's what I like to do. I just like to entertain the crowd. And if no one wants to fight me and no one's jumping up for me, then I'll just fight myself, because really I'm the only opponent worthy of getting into the ring with myself. So I'll do whatever it takes to get in there and entertain the world. So tell everyone to go look at the videos that are having me inside of them that I've made for Tough Enough, and tell Vincent McMahon and Triple that I am the number one contender for Tough Enough. I'm actually too tough. I'm tougher enougher. So, yeah, just go on and do it for me. Thanks.
You have an all-around winner. He won WWE Tough Enough. He's undefeated winner in MMA and just a winner in life. He uses his celebrity for good, working with charities and speaking out against bullying. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Daniel Puder. Daniel, how are you doing today?
I'm amazing. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Oh, no problem. Now, we've got a lot to talk about, but first things first, you have a lot going on these days. Coming up next month, you're wrestling in Texas on June 21st. Why have you decided to create this event?
Well, doing it for a nonprofit that I founded, and we're really trying to work with students, help them achieve their dreams and goals, and get to where they want to go, and just have a lot of fun. And we're building out the programming in Houston. And so we decided that the first event would be great to have in Houston, and the second event we're going to have in LA, it looks like, and in Miami, and we're going to go in the major markets and do fundraising for the nonprofit. So it's going to be great.
That's awesome. Now, this event seems to be shaping up pretty well. You have another former Tough Enough competitor, Matt Cross, Davey Richards, Angelina Love. Is there anyone else that you can tell us that will be added to this event?
You know what? There's we're gonna have a pretty Mark Roy is my tag team partner, and we've been doing this thing called the Reset Tag Team Challenge. I don't know if you saw it, but we are giving any tag team that we're looking for one, but we're going to give the tag team $1,000 cash, 2 first-class flights into Houston, a suite for about 3 days. Well, then we'll pick up food, that sort of thing. And we're going to we're looking for the next talent. We're looking to help build some new guys. We're helping to find some great guys with purpose to be able to give back to their community. And we've had some great applicants so far. So I'm pretty impressed by how it's going.
Well, that's great. Now, if you are a tag team that's listening right now, where can they find out more about this?
Yeah, if you go to mylifemypowerentertainment.com, they can apply on there, and they upload why they want to do it and what's going on and what they're doing for the community and giving back and so yeah, apply, go on, check it out. We're not only going to be doing this at this event, we have 3 more events in the next year. So we're going to be looking for, the tag team that, it's not just, I don't want just the biggest guys, the strongest guys, the best personality. I want an all-around group, 2 guys that are going to, or girls, that are going to really use their celebrity to make an impact in their community.
Well, that's amazing. Now that you're getting back into the wrestling ring, is there anyone specific, maybe down the road at these events or anything that you would like to wrestle?
Yeah, I would love to wrestle Kurt Angle. That little guy has been running from me for 10 years now. I'd also love to wrestle Vince McMahon. Actually, I'd just like to fight him in a cage if possible. And maybe Triple H too. I mean, either one I'll smash. They're pro wrestlers. It's one thing, but besides that, off the top of my head, I'd love to wrestle with Al Snow. He was one of my coaches on Tough Enough. Steamboat would be amazing, and there's a few other guys, but I think that the wrestling, to wrestle is one thing and to entertain, but I believe that us as entertainers and athletes and, celebrities, I think we can make more of an impact, if we grow this next generation to want to make, more of an impact with their name value and how they get on media and how they act, what they do, how they make an impact. So that's really our mission, which is going to be great.
Well, do you have any desire to go back to WWE now? Not maybe to wrestle, but obviously the next season of Tough Enough is coming up, and the WWE Network's a big thing now. So, would you ever want to lend your talents to something like that?
No, I will never go back to WWE. I have no desire to. It's not the same purpose in life. They want to make money. My purpose is to is to help our youth and our veterans and our families to, rebuild this country. I think there's a lot of companies out there that have hurt this country or that haven't really, it's all about profit. It's not about giving back and really making impact, and so that's one thing I won't be doing ever again.
Okay. Now, obviously, like we just mentioned, WWE Tough Enough is coming back. As a former winner of the show, is there, if you had the biggest piece of advice you could offer someone who's trying out for this right now, what would it be?
You know what? If you try out for the Tough Enough thing, I would say, understand what you're getting yourself into, which most people aren't. Most people don't know. I mean, they look at the fame, and at the end of the day, most people. I'll give you an example. One of my mentors, Dave Meltzer, gave me a book of 12 wrestlers that had died, and I looked at him and he signed it before I started Tough Enough, and I said, "What's the deal?" And he goes, well, most of them drink, do drugs and other challenges they go through. And I said, okay, so how do I not do that? How do I? And so basically I said, first day, and I almost got beat up by a few guys because I wouldn't drink, and I stood my grounds. And so, they want you to conform to what they want. They want you to go spend the money. So you have to keep coming back, and so it's a challenge of, it's their purpose. Their purpose is to make money off of you. So get ready to get money made off of you and to do what they want, how they want, when they want, and they'll fire you when they want. And it's a challenging lifestyle. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, I mentioned this beforehand, but you're very outspoken about bullying. Why is this such an important issue for you?
When I was a student in school, they labeled me as learning disabled, which I just learned differently. I didn't learn with words. I learned with my hands. I learned with, I'm good at building relationships. I was good at fighting, wrestling, building houses with Habitat for Humanity. I did a bunch of stuff. But at the end of the day, the learning is a challenge in school. So they labeled me that as a kid. I was picked on. I was bullied. I was laughed at consistently. But now I grew up and I got big, and everybody stopped picking on me. And now I think that I was blessed with the ability to go back and stand for others. And bullies do it for a reason too, which is a challenge. Bullies, they're bullied. They're being hurt in some way, and they're taking their hurt or frustration, to create short-term fulfillment in their lives, and they do it in a negative way. And it's a process, it's a learned process, and it's a behavior. And so I think that, no company ever wants to hire a bully, and so you either lose friends or build friends in life. You have two options. And if somebody hurts you, you either can hurt them back, or you can understand why they're doing it and help them. And so, when you start understanding that, you start knowing that, you can really do a lot to make an impact. So that's why we're really into making a long-term impact instead of just me going into schools and speak and leave. We're actually creating the next generation of role models and of CEOs, executives, pro athletes, and helping them get somewhere.
Well, it's a great organization. We're very happy of all of your everything you're doing now and everything you're going to be doing. But for people out there that are interested in learning more about this, I saw you have a few new websites going right now. What can you tell us about those websites?
Yeah, so you can check out danielpuder.com. MyLifeMyPower.org is our website for the charity, the nonprofit, and you can check out. You know what's funny is I'm standing here with one of my My Life My Power students. You want to hear from him real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay, he just finished the program. I'm looking over it. He's at Homestead High School in Florida. I'm standing at the school right now. Actually, hold on one second. Hold on.
My name is Savon Brown.
Hey, how are you doing?
Great.
So, what was this program? What does it meant to you? Was Daniel very helpful for you?
Yes, the program is great. I learned a lot of new things, how to go further in life.
Do you think that you'll be able to teach this to other people as you get older?
Yes, I'll show them my book.
That's great. Well, we appreciate you doing your best, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, so he wants to become a CEO of a company, and he dresses up. He's a rock star. He got some cool kicks on, and he wants to have his own brand, his own clothing brand, and stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome. We're working on a kind of a little business plan and get him an internship right now and resume. And next year he'll become one of our mentors that actually mentors one of the freshmen. He's a freshman this year, so it's pretty awesome.
That's great to see that you know, like you said, you're not just doing this as a one-time thing. You're really investing in these people's lives and trying to make a difference. So we thank you so much for that. Anytime that you need to, come back on to talk to us about it, we would definitely love to have you. And other than those websites, where can people keep up with you today?
If they want to go to my Facebook, my Twitter, Instagram, Google Plus, all the social media, that's out there, add me and I'll add them back. And we're going to be doing some cool stuff. I want to know where people are. If they want to go to, one of the big things we're doing a subscribe thing. I want to know where people are that love wrestling, because we want to do more shows in different cities. So that's one of the big things that we're looking for right now.
Well, I will tell you, we are based on the Northeast, so you should definitely come up in this area. Obviously, it's a pretty big area for wrestling, so we'd love to see you in the Northeast.
You got it. Keep rocking. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks so much.